Steve Alcorn's a fine investigator. What he's doing with this Chris dude, I have no idea.
I gave her cigarettes for our anniversary one year.
There you go. That's fucking romantic.
She didn't like gifts. I said, well, I want to get you something. What do you want? Just give me a couple packs of cigarettes. So I wrapped them up and gave them to her.
Yeah, have some lung cancer.
You got a dead Bigfoot that's just been shot, hanging upside down in a tree. Though Meldrum was also careful to note, it's not a course about Bigfoot.
It's a course about Fozzie Bear. Who's Fozzie Bear? Some say his father was half grizzly. Nobody believed he was real. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a Muppet. To me, that was better than being president of the United States.
They upped my meds last night, so anything's possible. We're laughing at a story about dead people. I can't explain it, but it sure makes me feel like the spirits are happy.
I mean, I guess you could say it might have been somebody's hand moving real quick, but it's not a fucking ghost.
The jury's still out on that.
See, your hoaxes come at you with smiles. They come as your friends.
Pope Francis says doggy heaven is real, so your dog has a soul.
Ah, so now the dogs can hang out with the pedophiles.
Not Benedict, Francis, Pope Francis.
No, I'm just guilt by association, Steve.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's what they say when they talk about me and you.
Yeah, there you go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 101 of the Fortean Slip. This is the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" episode, because I feel like I'm chained to two idiots running through a field.
What the fuck? Hey, before we start, did either one of you two notice that was the old intro?
You see, Matt?
Did you notice it, Chris, when you played it?
No, I didn't notice. Not at all. Listen, we're going to play a game tonight. For those of you listening at home. I guess that would be pretty much everybody. Except for you two. There is a reason that the intro has changed. And that reason is to be determined by the people who would be able to get why. It's that easy, Steve.
It's that easy.
It's simple. You just pay attention. Why would he change the intro?
Because I'm no longer on the show.
Welcome to day 37 of the
of the OJ trial.
Of the what am I going to call this? I'll call it the gag order. No, it's not really a gag order. Day 37 of who is
a really strict non-disclosure agreement.
Steve, are you breathing into the mic really heavily?
No. I'll move it away a little bit. That was probably a ghost or something.
I don't know, but it was creeping me the fuck out. I felt like somebody was over my shoulder. No, this is day 37 of the no. I don't even know what to fucking call this. It is kind of like a gag order. I don't have the ability to speak freely, openly.
Screw the Constitution.
Yeah, it doesn't work in this instance. Yes, you're. I don't know if I'd say I'm a loving host. Not really. Caring? No.
Yes.
Adoring?
I suppose that it depends on who you talk to.
No, not really. I got to spend 2 days in the clink.
Holy fuck! You were in jail? See, I acted like that was news to me or something.
Are you trying?
It suddenly made the title of the show very fitting.
Are you trying to? Are you trying to? Make this like new to you?
Yeah, it didn't work, did it?
No.
All right.
The magic of radio doesn't work there, Steve.
That's right, listeners. We had no idea Chris was put in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, so that did happen. I'm not going to elaborate as to why. Key back to the reason the intro was changed. Yeah, so I had to do the shackles shuffle and the whole 9 yards. It was kind of fun. Not really.
Did you bust rocks and stuff with sledgehammers?
I felt like it.
Pick up trash on the side of the highway?
It wasn't like anything that, you would see in a funny movie at all.
Like running the block by the time you got out?
No, I spent all my time in my
Green Mile.
I spent all my time in my cell, freezing my ass off, being sore.
Did you get any sweet tattoos?
No, I didn't get a cell tattoo.
I hear prison tattoo artists are like top notch. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody wanted my blankets when I left.
I asked Chris when he informed me that he had become an ex-con.
I'm not an ex-con, you fuck.
He went to jail.
Well, you weren't convicted of anything, right? So you're not technically an ex-con.
Technically.
All right. So I don't know what the hell to call you then.
A guy that went to jail.
All right. So I asked him if the soap was on a rope in there, because that's what I've heard.
Yeah, because he was just all about taking that shower.
Yeah.
He was just chowing down on the food, taking showers,
Oh, it was
like
good.
hitting up the commissary,
Good times.
working out in the yard.
do you
He was
really-
there for 2 days, Steve.
I know, but do you really pay for shit with cigarettes in there? Is that how that works?
I was there literally 2 days.
I watch a lot of these TV shows, and that's what they do. Cigarettes are like currency in jail.
You want to know what I did? I went to the library. I got a book. I sat in my cell. I tried to read it. I
was hoping for some good, fun prison stories.
Chris was going more of the orange is the new black scenario than Oz.
dude,
I'm not familiar with either.
Of course not. You just bragged about how you got Netflix. Now you have access to all of it.
I don't watch it. Everybody else watches it. What do you think I shut the cable off for? I don't need that shit.
It is what it is. Anyway, day 37. Enjoy.
The soap is not on a rope.
The soap was in a fucking plastic package. I had to open it. It sucked. The toothbrush was maybe as long as a lighter.
Tiny little thing.
And I'm not
So it
talking.
doesn't go in as deep whenever they turn it into a shank.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else.
Did you make a shank?
No.
You didn't do any of the fun gel stuff.
No.
I know. I was hoping for some really good prison
Dude,
stories.
it was. Listen, it was cold.
You read a
as
fucking book.
fuck. It was cold as fuck, and they had you locked down more than they had you fucking doing anything else.
You didn't beat your cellmate to death.
I didn't
Nothing.
have a cellmate.
What the fuck?
That was a short
Go
time.
back. Do it right.
Yeah. Go back and do it right. Fuck off.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to live through it, man. I don't think that I'd make it 1 second, and I don't even care if it's a county jail.
To the jail.
It's
I wouldn't
listen.
make it.
It's completely degrading. Absolutely
No doubt.
degrading. The whole process. And here's the thing, it is what it is. It's over. I can't in any way deal with that bullshit again. So I'm done.
So have you given them a bad review on Yelp yet?
Yeah.
Would not stay again.
Let me explain to you how this went down. So I was asleep, and I I just worked the night before, and I planned on getting some sleep. I was gonna go visit somebody, but it was gonna be either that, or I was just gonna hang out and just relax here at home and enjoy my night off, because I had 2 nights off in a row. That was a 2 night. No, I had 1 night off, and then I went back the next night. So I woke up to my parents saying, "Hey, the police were here," and yeah. So
Were here or are here?
were.
You got good parents then.
No. No, literally, they weren't trying to cover up that I was here. They fucking didn't realize I was here. So they let so
So then they called them back. No, he's here.
so yeah, no. I immediately got up and I'm like, so what's the fucking deal? And I had to call a certain officer, and he was like, well, where were you? And I'm like, I was sleeping. Where were you?
You didn't do that.
You did knocking.
No, I was sleeping. And I'm like, I don't want to seem like I'm coming off like in any way, being uncooperative or anything. What's going on? So, he had explained the situation to me, and I said that somebody
Was his last name O'Malley?
No.
Damn it.
No. You lose. And a couple of officers showed up here, and they had been the ones that had been here before. And they had actually come in the house.
You're a really sound sleeper.
Yeah. So,
Like or those are really shitty cops.
They didn't even fucking search the house.
I don't fucking know. So
I thought they had a search warrant.
Did they knock any doors down or anything?
no.
Come on.
They sent the SWAT team over and put his parents on the floor and hog-tied them.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, I went out and they fucking cuffed me right in the yard.
Nice.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Yeah, they cuffed me right in the yard, and
But they let you get a good night's sleep, so that was good.
oh yeah, that was great. No, but they accused me right there in the yard of being uncooperative. They're like, where were you? Why your stepmother went into your room? How come you didn't get up? Or how come she didn't see you in there? I'm like, she didn't come into the room. Like, if she had, she would have seen me laying there in the bed. Like, she knocked on the door, I didn't answer.
So wait, you called them
Yes.
after they had been there already.
Yes.
So you were at that point cooperating with them,
Correct.
but they were still accusing you of not cooperating with them.
Correct.
I think they just wanted to beat you up.
Well,
I think they're those bad guys.
Now,
here's the thing. She fucking put the bracelets on pretty fucking tight.
Oh, it was a female cop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there was another one with another guy with her. He wasn't in the same cruiser. He was in a different cruiser. So, yeah, they took me down there, and the officer that I had spoken to, he came down, met us at the jail, and he was like, you can either cooperate, excuse me, and give a statement, or, you can not. And he's like, and I'll put
correct.
and I'll put in your, and he's like, and I'll put in my statement that you were cooperative. So, and for anyone who has never been in this situation before, this is a word of advice from me. Have an attorney on retainer. On retainer. Don't,
Yeah.
don't, and by the way, also, have somebody who can be around or who knows this shit's gone down, because there's a possibility you're not going to be allowed to have that phone call that they so blatantly tell you that you're going to be able to have. I gave the statement because I did not have an attorney on retainer. And I was told at that point by the officer that I had spoken to on the phone, who said that he would meet me at the station, that I would be able to post bail and get a phone call within the hour.
I'm gonna guess that neither one of those things happened.
You ever seen the show Punk'd, Steve?
Yeah, I've seen that one actually.
I want to tell you that when I told the guards that that's what he had told me, that's exactly what I felt like. But at a much deeper, like more, I'm really fucked, this isn't funny in a TV show way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a word for the wise. Nothing can happen in an hour when it involves you being in jail.
Correct.
Well, there's a lot of things, Matt, that can happen in that first hour. But
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
None
by
of them
Nothing
involve
good.
anything good, though.
and I happened to go in on an off night. And by off night I mean, well, thank God it wasn't a weekend. But by off night,
right.
I mean, I went in, the judge wasn't seeing cases the next day. I had to wait until the following day when the judge was seeing the cases, and I was allowed no bail, no phone calls.
Laws be damned.
You do not get a phone. Well, and that kind of goes back to me not being able to kind of talk about it. Day 37. That it's kind of, but as I was talking to some other people that are there, it's indicative. It's not just because of my situation. It was, no one else was able to either. And the only people who had any type of a leg up, like I said, were the people who had an attorney on retainer or somebody, already.
Somebody who could do something about it.
Right. And like, I fucking mind, like, I didn't do shit. Like, I really, literally, I didn't do shit anyway. But, I was accused of shit. I was among people who had been, like, stopped with, like, ounces of heroin, had domestic violence fucking disputes with their, significant others.
And shot somebody.
No, nothing that bad. Like, nothing that bad there.
Robbed a liquor store.
However, here's an interesting little side note. Steve wanted a jail story.
I want a jail story. I want a good one, too.
Steve wanted a jail story. When I was put in the initial holding cell with all the other guys waiting to be processed, to be taken down to what they call the pods, I'm sitting there with, like, I was 4 other guys. And I'm like, shit, I'm just going to try to lay down on the bench, which is hard as fucking, as you can't really get comfortable, to try and just kind of rest until we went down there. And they bring in this guy who had just been busted with meth. And, like, he knew he was busted, so he did as much of it as he could.
Oh, God.
and then ate the rest.
And he is now in the worst possible environment he could be in for that situation.
Okay, so...
people who do meth aren't smart, from what I understand.
He fucking literally is bouncing off the walls. And he can't stop talking to everybody. The one guy in there was like, listen, get the fuck out of my face or I'm going to punch you. And finally, like, all three of the other guys get taken out, and it's just me and him. And I'm like, oh,
great.
Fuck. And then they take me out because you have to see a nurse. Why you go see a nurse, I don't fucking know. Because they don't do anything for you. But they take you to see a nurse. I assume that's to cover their ass.
Yeah, absolutely. It's in case you have like a broken arm or something, you don't get out and say they broke my arm.
Right.
Did you, do they at least probe your anal cavity, for weapons and shit?
No.
Steve.
I'm telling a story.
I'm just asking.
You wanted the story, motherfucker.
All right, well.
So I get taken out of the cell, and they give you this bag of shit. Like you have to strip down out of your clothes. You can't wear any of your clothes in there. So you get to get into the garb, so to speak. And they give you a bag of blankets and horrible sheets, and then your other shit. And so I have this bag, and I'm kind of using that as my pillow and using one of the blankets in the little thing. But they had taken me out to go to see the nurse. So, and I knew, like, the minute I walked out of there, I'm like, I'm going to walk back in there, and he's going to have everything fucking strewn everywhere. And no fucking sooner did I get back in there, I'm like, where's my shit? And he's like, what stuff? You didn't have any stuff in here. And it's all over the fucking place. And I look at the guard and I'm like, dude. Because seriously, I was being cooperative. I was being polite as humanly fucking possible in that situation, being the person that I am, but realizing that I was completely fucked. And I'm like, just looking at the guy like, what the fuck? And he's like, what? The guard. And I'm like, my stuff is everywhere. And they're like, finally, they fucking haul him out of the cell. And then, I get a new bag of stuff. They take me down to the pod. I'm in my own cell. But, yeah. There's my jail story, Steve.
There, I liked it. I mean, it could have been more eventful, but it was good enough.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, man, I feel for you. I'd never, ever, ever want to be in that fucking situation. It's not something good. So no matter why you're there, no matter whether you're guilty or not guilty, it doesn't fucking matter.
I can honestly tell you, I never want to go through it again.
No, I don't blame you. I can remember when I was a kid, and they took us to a juvenile detention center just to do a tour of it, just because they always did back in those days. I don't know, at my school. And they had these fucking hooks on the wall where you could hang up your, I don't know, whatever you had in your cell, like a shirt or whatever. And they were collapsible. So somebody asked why the fuck they were collapsible. And they said, well, that's so that nobody hangs themselves in here. And that was the moment I knew I'd never want to be in jail. So I feel for you.
It's cold.
Just saying.
I can tell you it was fucking cold. I could not stay warm. Ow.
I don't think creature comforts are the first item on the agenda when you're in a situation like that. So, I mean, for them.
No. From their standpoint, no, they don't give a shit. You're just another fucking person. It doesn't matter if you are guilty, innocent. It doesn't matter what you're in there for. They treat all of you like shit. It doesn't matter.
It just doesn't sound good at all. And I'm just fucking with you on the jail stories and shit, man. If something like that ever happens to you again, I'm hoping for a very uneventful, thing. So, hopefully it never happens,
what the fuck are you talking about? If it ever happens again,
I'm just saying. Well, you can't control that situation sometimes, as you well know.
Man, I made it 39 years with nothing.
Yeah, I know, and I've made it 40. Well, how old am I? 44.
I made it 30.
You can change it in 30 minutes.
I made it 39 years with a fucking speeding ticket.
And I'm just saying, man, if for anybody, I'm hoping it's the most uneventful thing in their fucking lives. But apparently, you can't control that. And it's something that I would be scared to death. Like I said, I wouldn't make it 30 seconds in a situation like that. I'd be freaking the fuck out. I'd be like the guy on meth, except with no meth.
Hey, my father came down to the jail 3 different times. They did not tell me he was there. They would not tell him anything about what was going on with me. They would not, they would not, no information got relayed. Nothing.
Of course not. Yeah. I mean, you're in there. Fuck the law. They don't give a shit. You are theirs to do with what they want. You don't get a choice. So
it was what it was.
If you want to complain about it, well, there's a process for that. And who's going to go through that fucking process for 2 days in jail?
I just did complain about it.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to say, hey, I didn't get my phone call, and what's the fucking judge going to say, So,
well, they tell you that you're allowed a phone call, and you are allowed a phone call, but they don't tell you when you're going to get it.
Right.
Or what situations. I mean, if the place is in lockdown, it doesn't matter whether you got a phone call or not. That supersedes your phone call. Right. And Chris was in one of those situations where, like he said, the judge wasn't doing anything that next day. He was kind of caught in a limbo of sorts. And until he saw the judge, there's nothing that anybody could do or would care to do to help him out.
That's right. Well, hey, I'm just glad it's over for you, and thank God it's, you got out of it, and it's done, and hopefully it's done. I mean, I don't know much more.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't discussed it, so.
No, I'm all good. Day 37.
Yeah.
I'm all good.
Yep.
It's
So,
peaches and cream, Steve.
Well, I know that's not the situation, but
it's fucking. You can't imagine.
I can't imagine it going that far, but I can imagine some bits of it, but not that far. So that's all.
I sure hope the Pacific Ocean is as blue as it is in my dreams.
Hey, you didn't really have any good, cool prison stories, but that's never stopped, people before. You could just make shit up now.
Christopher York crawled to a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. You know that one, Steve?
No.
Oh.
Christopher York was my best friend.
I may know it. What is it from?
Oh, jeez.
You know
the greatest prison movie in the history of media.
Wait, let me guess. The Longest Yard.
No.
I'm not even going to comment on that.
Do you know where Buxton is,
not
Red?
The new version, the old version.
Oh, the old version. Okay.
Yes. Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, of course.
I've seen a few prison
Return
movies.
to Mayberry, the Andy Griffith.
Yeah, Steve. I was just doing everybody's taxes in prison. Oh, jail. I wasn't in prison.
No. Well, you were in jail, right?
Jail.
Prison's a whole different situation.
prison's
and I
a whole
think
different-
we'd be having a different discussion maybe 3 or 4, 10 years from now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be happening right this second.
No, I don't think so. But no, I've seen The Green Mile. That was a good one. I've seen...
Chris's experience was very similar to that.
Yeah, the Green
Yeah, that's
Mile.
what I'm guessing. I've seen... what's the one where the guy does his taxes? I've seen that one. I can't think of the name right now. Does the tax... It's got Morgan Freeman in it, right? Am I right? That's the one I seen. Why is it Stephanie silent?
Just sit in it, Steve.
Yeah, I see.
Splash around in it.
I was hoping he'd, just kind of like just flounder in that fucking pond.
I'm right, though. Morgan Freeman was in that one movie, and the guy was, and at the end of the movie, and that stuff happened, and it was cool.
Matt, could you get me a Rita Hayworth poster?
Why does Morgan Freeman only help white people?
What?
You ever notice that?
Because he's on the Oscars committee, Steve.
Look at all the Morgan Freeman movies that ever have been made. And what does Morgan Freeman do in every one of those movies? He's helping a white person. Every movie.
Not even.
Oh, God.
I'm not saying there's anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, the views of Steve Alcorn do not necessarily reflect the views of the Fortean Slip. Oh, God. I want to see Steve on an apology tour next week.
Nah, I don't apologize. I've had enough of that shit over my lifetime, so fuck it.
Wow. Does Morgan Freeman only helps white people?
In the movies, now tell me one movie that he was in that he didn't help a white person.
Glory?
I don't know, I've never seen it.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true.
See?
All right, you might be honest. You might be onto something, Steve, but I'm not gonna give it. I'm not giving into it. All right, I'm not going full Steve Alcorn. I won't do it.
No, you shouldn't. Nobody should ever suffer the pains of being me.
That's right.
Actually, you see, it works out in my favor because I'm ignorant to it most of the time. So it's good. It's all good.
So yeah, this week
I'm going with Lean on Me.
This week, ladies and gentlemen,
white people in there.
We did not talk about. You guys are fucking just stepping all over me.
Hey,
well, part of the
I got him on Lean on Me. You should be backing me here.
Let me look at Lean on Me. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'd have to see. What does Morgan Freeman do in that movie?
He saves a school in the ghetto.
Listen, sing the
white people there.
Sing the school song.
White people.
Okay,
in school.
Death of a Prophet, where he played Malcolm X. How about that one, Steve?
Okay, well, you got me there. Yeah, I don't think Malcolm X was much for saving white people.
Invictus.
For helping white people. Okay, you got me. I get it. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the Malcolm X one either, but I'm familiar with Malcolm X. So I lose. Let's say most of Morgan Freeman's movies, he's helping white people.
Okay, can I fucking wrap up the show now?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure, I got
good.
news and stuff, though.
Jesus fucking Christ. Do you think I'm a fucking rank
It's
amateur?
like being-
We've been doing this for 100 episodes, you fucking cowboy hat wearing motherfucker.
It's like prison all over again.
It wasn't prison, you fucking dumb hick.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing.
Did they at least
It's
do an anal cavity surgery? He said at least. Like you like hoping.
Well, I was hoping not for my sake. I mean, if I go to jail, I hope they skip that part. But
wow,
I was trying to tie it into the theme of our show, a Fortean theme. So aliens do anal probing. So I figured
this week's show is not for the fucking people who don't listen to the show. Sorry. But it wasn't. It was for the people who do listen to the show. Those tiny few. Thank you, Richard.
I and that other guy.
Larry Johnson, Shaw, Gordon, something like that.
Yeah, no. No, I listen.
Larry Johnson, Shaw Gordon.
I don't know. I made it up.
This shit
I
has
don't have another
been
fan.
shit has been on hiatus like far too often lately. After everything that's happened, and the past couple of episodes were sporadic, and I just had to fucking at least talk about this shit. Like I've always said, this show's been about what I guess now can say, day 37. But it is what it is. And like I said in the last episode, this doesn't, nothing means I'm not getting done doing this shit. I enjoy what I do with this. It's not, at this point, it's not a hobby. It's kind of just something that I do.
It's like a fucking lifestyle. That's what it is.
I guess it is, but
I don't know.
I really enjoy it, and I've been in a funk, so I haven't been able to feel like I could just get on and be able to be who I wanted to be. And that doesn't mean that who I am on here is a fake person. It's not. Because a lot of people have told me lately, listen, hey man, you gotta fake it to make it. And
Fuck that.
no, hey, I get what they're saying. I totally get what they're saying. And I'm not trying to belittle it in any way. I get it. It's just that I'm not that person. I've never been good about faking anything. It doesn't come across. So I've just been trying to figure out how to get back to baseline. And one of the things that I figured out recently is I don't know who the fuck I am. And that doesn't mean that who I am on here is a fake image either. Or that I, make this shit up as I go. It's what you fucking hear is what you get. I've not ever tried to be anything but what I am when I get on here. But I don't know who that fucking person is anymore. I've struggled with that for the past, like 3 weeks at least. Who is the person that I fucking look through the eyes of every day? Who the fuck is he? And where's he going? And I can't for the life of me put an answer to either of the fucking questions. I sit there and I stare a lot because I just don't even know. And I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to get on here and try to put on the fake fucking image for everybody so that they could go, haha, the fucking show's on. We've got a show this week. Just to satisfy that even the last couple of episodes that I did, they were a bitch for me. And I went back and listened to them. And I was telling Steve this earlier today. I said, even when I think I sound like shit, I usually sound fine. Or I usually come off okay. Because my voice is like butter. I couldn't put out a show this week and say, hey, let's talk about time travel. Or, hey, let's talk about Bigfoot. No, some shit went down. And for those people who are like diehard fans of the show, who speak to me and talk to me, like Richard Allen, he fucking knows what's going on. I've spoken to him about it. I get audio from the son of a bitch all the time. But I don't have any this week. But I just couldn't come on and be like, hey, let's just do a fucking normal show. Like, this is a topic, and then we'll do the news. And hey, I'll slip in. Hey, I was in the clink. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. No, it doesn't work. And I'm not, I've never been like a polished radio fucking host as far as, putting on that, fake image. It like I said, you hear what you hear is what you get. And that's what happened. Can't talk about a lot of it. Day 37 is in full effect. I will keep you updated. And for the record, like, the minute I could talk about it, I would. I'd tell the whole fucking story. Beginning to end. In its entirety.
How many shows is that going to take?
Oh, it would take one. If you kept your fucking mouth shut.
Well, I can do that. I do have one more question about your jail experience, though.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Stripes or orange jumpsuit?
It was orange.
Oh, okay.
It was orange. It was all orange. So...
Because I like the stripes.
I don't want anybody to think, because everybody got all worried, and my activity on YouTube got really low, and the Facebook stuff got really low. Reason being is Facebook keeps banning the shit out of me.
That's a total separate incident than the jail thing, right?
Right, and that's... and now, instead of for 2
Well, I'm just thinking maybe there was a Facebook jail.
Can I get through what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
This is called a monologue, Steve.
Oh. I'm done.
Now they're doing it for 3...
I'll just mute myself.
Yeah, that'd be a good fucking idea at this point. Now, instead of for fucking 2 weeks at a time, they're banning me for 3 days at a time. And it's just gotten to the point where I have to be very careful and very selective about how I do anything, which makes it a lot harder to keep the blog going. But people have asked about that as well. But everything's still going. Everything's still fine. It's good. I just have to get my bearings, so to speak, still at this point. But understand there's been a lot of changes. All of that being said, I just don't want anybody to freak out and be like, hey, now that this has happened, what's gonna go on? You ever gonna feel like normal again? Yeah, I'm fine. Things are good. I'll fucking figure it out. Have I ever been in a situation like this? Absolutely not. In my opinion, I guess I should say. Other people have said, "Oh, but you've gotten over so much more. Like, you conquered fucking drug addiction." And yeah, I did, but it's completely fucking different. So I just don't want anybody to think that I would give up, or that I would fucking, let shit, whatever. But everything's continuing as is. I told Matt and Steve earlier, what was it, yesterday or the day before, like, things just fucking feel pretty fake right now. I'll get past it, but that's just how it is. So you're gonna get what you're gonna get. To all of you out there, I may come off the same fucking way. Just I see it a little differently, and that's probably me. But I'm gonna be dedicated to trying to get these assholes on the air with myself, the biggest asshole, and give you a show every fucking week. As much as I can do that with the schedule that I have now. And definitely is going to have to switch up. So, gentlemen, we will have to speak about the time that we record and or day. But that's just how it is. So, without further ado, Steve, can you unmute? Are you good?
I unmuted. I'm
See,
good.
he has.
I kept my mouth shut that whole time I was muted.
And
too.
and you want to know what I love about that is that he had to actually mute himself because he knew he wouldn't have the fortitude to keep his fucking mouth shut.
No, there was a couple times in there that when you were calling me an asshole and things like that.
Well, hey, I'm like I said, I'm an asshole too. So, but do you have any news tonight?
I sure do.
Great.
I should probably read the news with the fucking mute button on as well, but we're going to try it. From boingboing.net, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service asks, are we ready for Bigfoot and or the Loch Ness Monster?
No.
No, I agree. In 1977, the U.S. Department of Interior's Fish and Wildlife Service published a fascinating document, and a lot of Bigfoot people have seen that document. I myself have. What the government would do if Bigfoot or something like the Loch Ness Monster were to be found. The paper goes on to explain the laws and regulations in place to deal with
Oh, no, I
subjects.
saw that movie. They got Dustin Hoffman and Sharon Stone and Samuel L. Jackson, and they put him in the little thing underneath the water.
Is Morgan Freeman in it? Anyway, it also mentions 20th century discoveries like the Komodo dragon and cryptozoology's darling, the coelacanth, from the document. Finding a Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot is still a possibility. This is from the document, I believe. And the discovery would be one of the most important in modern history. As items of scientific and public interest, they would surely command more attention than the moon rocks. Millions of curiosity seekers and thousands of zoologists and anthropologists throughout the world would be eager to get at the creatures to examine, protect, capture, or just look at them. Under the U.S. law, the Secretary of the Interior is empowered to list as threatened or endangered a species for 120 days on an emergency basis. For an endangered species in the United States, the Secretary can also designate habitat that is critical to their survival. No federal agency could then authorize, fund, or carry out any activities which would adversely modify that habitat. So long-term federal protection of Nessie or Bigfoot would basically be a matter of following the same regulatory mechanisms already used in protecting whooping cranes and tigers and, all that kind of stuff.
Tigers, really?
Oh, my.
Uh-huh.
Like the Loch Ness Monster isn't from the United States. Nothing would happen to us.
Yes, but they're talking about Loch Ness Monster.
That's not
Type
the
animals.
Loch Ness Monster.
Well, you're right. What was that noise in the background? It sounded like a whooping crane. I don't know. And from Boing Boing again, I had to do this story. I should have finished with it, though, so I'm going to skip that one. Alien abduction report from the HuffingtonPost.co.uk. Didn't I say at one time I wasn't going to put the .co.uk in there? I was just going to say Huffington Post because everybody knows where it's from, but I didn't. Alien abduction report to Mutual UFO Network backed by mobile phone images. A 40-year-old woman who believes she was abducted by aliens has sent in images allegedly captured on her phone to the Mutual UFO Network, an organization dedicated to the study of UFOs, aliens, and paranormal activity. In an attempt to convince the network that the pictures are real, the photographers appear to have used several filters. Oh, geez, that's a red flag. To show viewers a blurry amalgamation of human-like features that apparently belong to extraterrestrial beings.
It's a UFO, Steve.
While these shots were most likely taken on an earthly location, such as a garage, that's what it says in the article, the unnamed woman is a firm believer
I
that
believe
she was
that.
indeed the victim
Rick and
of an
Morty.
abduction.
Rick and Morty happens in a garage.
The story, first reported by The Express, cites her conversation with MUFON in which she said, "I believe I was abducted that night."
Oh, speaking of which, the
Illinois
X-Files
statement.
The X-Files is on tonight, Matt.
Yeah, we're probably missing it like right now. Didn't it come on at like 11 or something? I don't know.
No.
10:30? 10 o'clock?
Came on late because of the game.
Oh, fucking game.
I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, the Illinois resident said her boyfriend was sleeping in his van in the driveway. I'm sorry. Why does that make me...
Fuck you, Charlene. I'm sleeping in the van.
Could you help me put this in my van?
The couple had an argument that night. I was lighting a cigarette on the stove.
See?
I had a scratch-off ticket in my hand, she said. All right, end of story. I'm done.
Why don't you hand me one of them cold beers? Holy shit, you're an alien.
Anyway, all the pictures, and you can see them on the Huffington Post, are, blurry and look like they're inside of, like they said, her garage. And yeah.
And on the Instagram account of Rebel for Life 69.
From CBSNews.com. The show did a paranormal vision point police to a killer. Alicia Tejada is a 48 Hours associate producer, and she wrote this story. From Melbourne Beach, Florida. If you're an avid follower of crime and justice news stories, you've probably heard about clairvoyants or psychics assisting in police investigations. But what happens when someone who claims to have paranormal abilities in a murder case become the prime suspect?
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, on the 48 Hour show, it involves a Florida woman, Sheila Trott, who said she had a dream with dark visions of violence about a friend. Ooh. But it's not your typical story about how a paranormal investigator becomes wrapped up in a criminal case. On the early morning of February 16, 2010, Trott woke up her two sons saying she had an eerie dream in which she saw her friend Kelly Brennan hurt. Coincidentally, the 46-year-old Brennan, a nurse, had been reported missing just the night before. Coincidentally. Trott's story continued to evolve, and she said things like, "I see Kelly's face, and everything is dark." Then she named a section
Nurse
of them
Brennan's in the television set.
She named a section in Melbourne Beach, Florida, called Mark's Landing. If this were a story about someone who claims to be clairvoyant or have psychic abilities, this would be the part where the psychic
This house has been cleansed.
You always make me lose my place, Chris. Anyhow, I think this lady killed her friend. Somewhere in this story it's going to say that, but I haven't found it yet. I'm right back on the wagon, Chris.
I wish you'd get off. Like there is nobody on this planet I wish would fall off the rails more than you.
Why is this even called like the Fortean Slip news? Like, why do we even refer to this segment as a news segment?
Well, it is news.
Somewhere in this article, I think she killed her, but
anyway, instead of Trott assisting in the investigation in the end with the vision she claimed she had, it actually led investigators right back to her. So there you have it. She killed her friend.
Why didn't she lead the cops in the wrong direction?
Nobody said she was a good psychic. Well, she did, kill her friend and all, at least allegedly.
According to what you speculate, even though you didn't read anything like that.
I just, I get bored with the stories sometimes, but I got one that I'm not going to get bored with because it's a good one. And this is our final story of the evening from Boing Boing again, boingboing.net.
What are you fucking pimping?
Old payphone.
Wait, no, wait a minute. Are you fucking like selling ad spots in the news now?
I don't know. They should probably pay me to do this.
No.
Right.
I'm curious if you're like pimping boing boing or something this week.
Yeah.
No, I just kind of
You
like
don't
the
have any
story.
sticker ads up on
You see,
Boing Boing, do you?
No. I found the Bigfoot story.
Like at the
earlier.
end of this episode,
And then-
he's gonna be like, "Hey, Chris, do you think you could like throw boing boing on the picture of the video?"
You think maybe we could call this episode boingboing.net?
Here's the real true story of how this happened. I was looking at the Bigfoot story, and then you know how on the side they have suggested stories. Well, this one came up, and I wanted to read it.
That's
So
cool.
here we go.
It's called clickbaiting, Steve.
Clickbaiting. That's right. Maybe maybe they will sponsor our show now that we mentioned them. Boingboing.net.
Yeah,
several
I'm
times.
sure they're going to dive right on that grenade.
Yeah.
Old boing boing, payphones boing boing, becoming boing boing. Is that going to work? No? Old payphones becoming masturbation stations in New York City.
Of course.
Neglected public payphones in New York City are being turned into Guy-Fi stations, a place where one can rub one out for the sake of stress relief. It actually has a big vinyl sticker, which I could actually reproduce, by the way, Guy-Fi sticker.
Wait,
and
are you
it's
trying
right
to
on the
say
side.
that this isn't like some story about how like some weirdo pervs are caught jacking off in phone booths, but they're actually
No,
setting
no.
up masturbation stations?
This is according to Boing Boing. Anna Lee Newitz reports on the wank booths from a company named, I'm just reading the story, from a company named Hot Octopus. The company reported that at least 100 men used the booth on its opening day last week. Of course, public masturbation is illegal, and a rep from Hot Octopus told Mashable, we may be insinuating that these booths could be used in whichever way anybody would want to, like a self-soothe. But the brand is
Who would want to like? Oh man,
100 men used it the first
there
day.
would have to be like a really large jug of Purell on the outside of that booth.
I'm just saying. Now,
Like, why is the floor all sticky?
there is a link to Snopes on the end of the article. It's mostly false. However, it is true in New York City is installing masturbation booths somewhere.
What?
The image in the story is real. There is a Guy-Fi booth, but it's a marketing gimmick for an adult sex toy company. So it's not an actual masturbation station. Although I believe that guys would actually try to do it anyway. So the old payphones in New York City do say Guy-Fi on them. They are not really masturbation booths unless you want to, apparently. That's it. That's the news.
Wow. You get way too giddy over that shit.
I just want to let everybody know that if you put masturbation anywhere in the title, Steve will believe it.
No, I
It took me how long?
No. I
How
just
long,
wanted
Steve?
to be sure because Gary,
I jumped in on the tail end of that thing right out the gas. Like, this is bullshit. 2 minutes later, provided the
know it was
proof and was
bullshit,
gone.
but
And
there was
you guys were
some
still
evidence.
sitting there.
there was
Spinning
some
your
evidence.
wheels.
There was some evidence that it may be real, and then I got you posted that Snopes article, and it led me to the proof that it wasn't. So yes, I mean I can't just take your word for it, Matt. What kind of investigative reporter would I be?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I had to look into it, and Gary Shaw was convinced that it was a real thing, and he had posted it several times. So
Gary Shaw is still convinced it's a real thing.
it's not a real thing. It would be the stopmasturbation.org website. It's a parody for those of you that don't know, and it's run by the same people who, what was that other website? News Weekly or something, and then cbsnews.com.co, which is not really CBS News. So it's all bullshit. I knew it had to be bullshit, but I had to look into
Chris.
it myself.
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
one of the
Yeah,
photo
yeah.
testimonials involved a young lady holding a sign that said she used to inject 6 to 12 marijuana needles a day, but has stopped that along with masturbation.
I hadn't gotten to
pleasuring
the
her sin cave, as I believe it was put.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
The
with,
large-breasted
the
young
devil's
lady that was
button.
posted above her had injected LSD.
but she
spelled
didn't
it-
spell it LSD.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna.
ELLISDE.
I'm gonna go with false.
No,
It was
no,
false.
no. That's not proof.
I hadn't looked into the testimonial part of the website at that point. So I was just going by what Gary Shaw said, and then, because I am the investigative reporter that I am not, I had to look further.
So here we go. When I say it, that's not good enough. You have to investigate further. But whenever Shaw says it, well, I just go with what Shaw says.
No. I was going. You have to lend some credence to somebody's story. I lent the same amount of credence to yours.
Dr. Matthew Johnson.
Hey, I love you. You're an awesome, handsome, good squatcher. You're like number one in the world.
I think this show's gone on too long. At
Do
least this segment.
do you?
No, the first part of the
I'll
show
be
is
the
great.
I'll be the judge of when you fucking are floundering enough.
There's not going to be an end, Chris. Trust me.
You know what I'd
There's
love
not
to do?
gonna be an end.
You know what I'd absolutely fucking love to do? I'd love to just get on the air one night and give you guys the show and tell Matt he's not allowed to run anything because he knows how to do it. And then just let you fucking take the reins.
No.
And I'll just
Okay.
just sit back and record and not say anything and not try to
wanna
steer
continue
the
to have a
fucking
show?
and not try to steer the fucking ship. And
You
just
want to continue to have a show. You probably oughtn't do that.
oh god. Oh, that would sound like everything a broadcaster would never want to do. And then Steve would turn around and say, "Hey, but I did college radio once."
I did. The college radio isn't the Fortean Slip.
Yeah.
An
This
AM station that didn't even get off the campus.
Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
Good.
No. Yeah. I'll mute myself again.
Good. This has been the Fortean Slip, episode 101. The Oh Brother, Where Art Thou episode. Later on, I'll be eating gopher with fucking Jethro and Billy Bob here. I don't want to plug anything. I don't really I want to plug my own shit. Yes, share everything. Share it, like it, comment on it, enjoy it. Don't for a second go plug or give Steve's sticker business anything.